Alright, so in this video we're checking out this new video transmitter from AKK. It's called the TX5000 AC, and pretty hefty here, pretty big. It goes up to 5 watts. It's got a cooling fan in here, a big heat sink. Includes this instruction manual. I'll show you some of this in a second. You get this cable. It should match up with this here. I think maybe it's the other way around. Goes like that. You get 14.6 to 20 volts, ground, smart audio, video in, obviously your camera, ground, and 5 volt output. And you get this MMCX to SMA adapter, and this one does come with an MMCX connector on board. 30 by 30 mounting. And just a quick look at the manual. Not a whole lot here. It just shows you that it's smart audio supported, 25 milliwatts to 5,000 milliwatts, power switchable. There is a button on here which I'm going to be using. I'm going to explain why in a second. They're right there, so you can manually choose your bands and channels, and there's a series of lights here. When I get that installed, I'll show you that here, but you can select your channel, band, and power via the button and these lights here. They're going to show up. And then this is a kind of an unusual video transmitter. As you can see, it has like all these bands and channels, and it has slightly different levels of output power based on the I guess the channel and band you're on. So I think the one that they showed on their website a bunch of different channels and the levels of output power. I think the highest one was 5645 for this one. It's right here in band T. And these letters and numbers don't necessarily correspond with anything I know. Kind of unusual. There's some additional specs here in the back. They said just 6S battery. Probably it's going to suck up a lot of power. And yeah, no microphone in this one. The JST connector, and here are the LEDs. And then they did send me another video transmitter here. It's called the Alpha 10, and you see it's double the size almost. I think the mounting holes are over here, 30 by 30, but it sticks out. Huge heatsink here. Got an SMA connector on top. Got a cooling fan. This one goes up to 10 watts, which is kind of ridiculous. I think that's something like 40 dB or something like that. Really crazy. But obviously, the reason I haven't reviewed an AKK product in a while is hasn't been a lot of stuff going on in analog video. So basically what they're doing now is they're just like, okay, well, yeah, we had 500 milliwatts and 1 watt, 2 watts. We're just going to go and blast you with 10 watts now. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to test this at all, because I'm going to be testing this on a ground vehicle. Obviously, at 5 watts, you can probably go, I don't know, 200 kilometers, I imagine, in the air. But on the ground, probably far less. So I'm going to try and see how this works on a ground vehicle. I imagine 5 watts is going to be plenty. I'll have probably clear video as long as I have line of sight. Obviously, with no line of sight, probably not going to work. So anyway, as I mentioned, these video transmitters are kind of unusual. They're tuned they're not optimally tuned in the normal 5.8 gigahertz band, so they have these special antennas that they sent along here, and they're calling these the tube antennas. There's a black and a white, and they have right-hand circular polarized antennas for these. I think they're tuned more for slightly below the standard 5.8 gigahertz band, something like that. So you'll have to check the product page for the technical details. And these are SMA antennas. So they sent 2 blacks and 2 whites. Obviously, in the transmitter, I'll only be able to use 1. I do have a dual diversity receiver in my Hawkeye, the 10-inch DVR monitor. So I'm going to actually use that as a receiver. Anyway, so like there's a button here also to select your channels and bands manually. There's actually a better LED here. I think that's also maybe, and I think that's, I'm not sure what that is. There's a microphone in this one. There's your plug there. You got a little extender, SMA extender. And then this is the cable that this one comes, it's not the same cable, it's just a little bit bigger. And for some reason, the one that comes with the 5 watt has like this power filter on the positive. Not sure why this one has that and this one doesn't at 10 watts. This one does not have that, so kind of strange, but yeah, as I said, I'm probably not going to be able to test this. If for whatever reason 5 watts isn't enough where I'm going to be using this at some office park, then I'll try this out maybe in a next video. But I'm pretty sure this is not going to have any issues. I'm probably only going to be able to go at most a kilometer away on the ground, which is I think going to be fine. Here's the quick look at the Alpha 10 manual. So for some reason these are not on the product page and not downloadable, so that's why I'm showing it to you in the video. And go ahead and pause the video if you care to read the details in here. But yeah, you can see this one goes, 1 watt, this for the power levels, 1 watt, 3 watts, 5 watts, 7 watts, 10 watts. Kind of crazy. And then again, this myriad of bands and channels here. Not sure why there's so many of them, but again, as I said, these are tuned for a lower part of the band, so that's probably why there's a lot of bands I don't even recognize. And here are the specs on the back, 80 channels. So you're probably going to need a monitor or receiver that can manually tune to a frequency, because some of these frequencies are out of band on a lot of standard receivers. But here's the rest of it. Go ahead and pause. Yeah, it's 48 grams there, and you can see the size, pretty hefty. So I'm going to stick the 5 watt video transmitter on this guy here, and obviously I'm going to try and go as far away as I can. I will be driving this around with my Radiomaster MT12. This is the Beta FPV Super G Gemini. So it's got the dual transmitters, dual antenna, and then I'll be using this is the Super P PWM Gemini receiver, and I've got the latest firmware on here and everything. So in terms of control range, I should be able to go as far as I want on the ground, and we'll see how this the 5 watt video transmitter does. I'm probably going to stick it up here somewhere in front, and it's going to have its own power because this is only a 2S battery on here. I'm going to stick another 6S battery on here, and then probably mount the antenna up front, and camera obviously is going to go up in the front. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and mount this up, and I'll show you what it looks like out where I'm going to be driving this, and I'll take you there in a second. Okay, so I'm going to do a field test here. Here's my setup. Got the antenna way up high, using a bunch of zip ties. I got a separate 6S battery just for the VTX, and Cadex Retel Pro camera or something in the front here. Analog, of course. There's the receiver in the back. And I'm going to try and go way down to the end of this parking lot, and then maybe behind this building here, and see what the penetration is like. I have no idea. I'm going to do a baseline test first at like maybe 1 watt or something like that, something lower, and then we'll come back and do 5 watts. And then here's my Hawkeye 10-inch monitor with the tube antennas. That's what's going to be recording the DVR. And I think that if you look way down there, there's a car down there somewhere. That's probably like 800 meters away. I don't know if I'll be able to get that far on the ground, because even at 5 watts, who knows? We'll have to see. That's why we're doing this test. All right, let's go ahead and do it. All right, so recording. Let's go. Yeah, I'm at 1 watt. See here. Yeah, I'm not that far away, but I've got complete control of my telemetry, or I got 100% on the telemetry and the radio. And this goes up to 1 watt as well on the transmitter. Not a single breakup anywhere. Going way down there. I don't even see it anymore. And yeah, on the ground, even at 1 watt, there's like no breakup at all. And I'm gonna go as far as I can. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of reflections now. Just a tiny bit of reflections. Just because we're so close to the ground. This is normal. Now I'm getting some breakups. So I'm probably like 3/4 of the way to the end of the parking lot. Let's turn around. So let's bump up the power to 5 watts and see if those breakups still happen at that distance. Sometimes they just happen anyway, because even with more power, you just get a stronger reflection. And right now, no one's working, so this parking lot is completely empty. All right, man, that's a long way away. Still, here I am. Now I'm finally coming into the picture. I can hear it now. There we go. I'm gonna switch to power now. All right, still recording. Here we go. Actually, I'm getting more reflections closer now, where I wasn't getting that before. So that extra power is probably like bouncing off that building over there, and then you're getting reflections in the video signal. So I guess sometimes more is not necessarily better. Keep on going, keep on trucking. Oh, don't crash into the curb. But yeah, the picture is pretty good. I'm getting reflections again. About the same spot, really. Again, I guess this is the fact that I'm near the ground, so this is kind of inevitable. But less breakups this distance. I was getting more breakups before at 1 watt. Still seeing those same reflections, and now we're at near the end of the parking lot, near this car over here. So I'll turn around. I don't want to freak out that guy. There's some guy in there. So definitely more power is helpful, but you know, it's like 5 times the amount of power, but it's probably like you get maybe like 1.5 times the range, because it's the square of the distance. So the square of the power, I guess, is what it is. It's basically, it's not a linear relationship. So let's try going closer to like objects and stuff. Let's go behind, going away again here. It's like halfway down the parking lot. I'm gonna go behind some of these bushes here. And you can see here now we're getting some reflections. Absolutely no interruption to my control signal, which is, I'm really surprised, this close to the ground. Let's go to the next, let's go down further. Let's go behind. This is going to be more towards the building over here. So more reflections. The RSSI is still 100% on my control link. Incredible. This Gemini ELRS is pretty amazing. Yeah, so let's see if I go in this direction over here. So we're getting more. This building here is kind of in the way, and these trees. Let's see if I can find a ramp or anything to get up. Nope. Yeah. So basically, having more power doesn't really help you that much when you have a concrete building in your way. But it's about the extent that I can test this using an RC vehicle. I think I am going to test the 10 watt. Probably just have the VTX stationary, and then I'll like drive away from it or something like that. and see what the signal looks like with a whole bunch of objects. It's really hard to test these things at these power levels. It's just not practical in an urban environment. I would have to make a trip, drive a few hours away, go out to the desert or something, and not right now, not gonna happen right now. But yeah, let's go ahead, bring it in. That's the 5-watt test, and Gemini is working great on the Express LRS link. Go ahead and we'll see what I can do about the 10-watt here in the next segment of this video. Alright, so here's the my setup for the test of the 10-watt VTX here. This is the Alpha 10, and got the antenna up here like this, and by a window over here, and it's got this video playing here on a tablet. RunCam Phoenix camera there, running 10 watts. You can see the settings here, and we're 5645. Here is this is the DVR receiver, and let's go ahead and start recording. Alright, so we're recording now, and let's have like a series of videos playing from our playlist, and so that we have video changing here so we can see things are recording. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk outside the house and take this with me. I'm going to walk away as far as I can, see how long I have a clean signal. Obviously I'm right next to this. This thing's blasting away at 10 watts, so it's going to be perfectly clear. And I've got the tube antennas in here. Got an extra fan blowing, a little extra air here, so hopefully it won't overheat. Alright, so I'm outside my house and walking away. I'm already about 100 feet away, and there's a bunch of houses in between. So the video transmitter is behind me, but obviously we're getting reflections. Let's keep going. Alright, so now I'm losing sync. I just regained sync, so I am starting to notice the effects of a weak signal. Probably about 1,000 feet away now. So there's the DVR. Our house is at the end of the street, almost to the end here, and still have video, though it is breaking up a little bit. But I think, the video is going in and out of sync on this dual diversity receiver. So it's because there's all these trees and houses and metal and stuff in between. But that should conclude this test.